Welcome, guys, to another rundown rush. I am your host. Did you like that intro? We came up with that at the last minute. Me and Nixon joining me on the rundown rush. What is up, Nixon? How you doing? Getting all
Oh,
hydrated?
oh yes. You know how we do. Some
Now,
Tito's and seven.
since we're about to get it cracking with the hot D-ness, we're gonna go full on with the D-ness today. So I'm excited to
Yeah,
talk about this one.
a lot to unpack last night.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
much,
It
so
was
much.
it was a lot of crazy. Let me get us a split screen here. I got my mysterious hoodie on, cloak and dagger kind of stuff.
I'm wearing my Dracarius shirt. I mean, if I can just Dracarius.
Oh, all right. See, there you go. See, I'm just Call of Duty, so I'm way off. I'm way off. But guys, let me get this out of my eyes because I gotta be able to see. But yeah, we're gonna recap episode 6. This was the episode where we had the time jump, about what 10 years, right?
Yeah.
We move forward. So yeah, since I'm deeming you the channel's expert of everything that's House of Dragons, I almost said Hot D, but I don't think personally you would want that to be your your label.
I mean, I love hot dogs, so I'll take it.
There you go. There you go. T and the D. Yep, that's right. We're gonna let's could you give us a quick little recap? Let everybody know what we're gonna be talking about tonight, real quick.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're kicking it off with episode 6, and it starts out with Rhaenyra giving birth to her third baby, and Queen Alicent asks to see the baby immediately. She just wants to make sure that the baby is a Targaryen.
Mm-hmm.
And Rhaenyra is like, you know what? I'm gonna take the baby to see her myself. And Rhaenyra, by some strength, carries the baby all the way up to Alicent and is
Those
like, here.
those stairs, that
Oh,
walk, that was something on itself. That whole thing that lasted about a good 5 minutes. Just that whole scene, right?
yeah, and the look on Alicent's face too when Rhaenyra actually showed up and was like, "Whoa, Rhaenyra, you're supposed to be in bed," and Rhaenyra's like, "Oh, I know. Here's what you want to see. Come on, come at me."
Yeah,
You know?
it that whole scene, the I guess to me it was like if all the fans that who love the younger lady who played you just said the name, and I do that all the time. I know the name, but it'll escape me just that
Ray
fast.
Ray.
Ray is what you call it. I feel like that scene walking up the stairs and showing her strength, she in that very moment right there captured the spirit, the heart, and the power of that character. It was like, okay, yeah, this is her. This actress. I know it's a different actress than the one that played this character last week, but in my mind, we've literally gone 10 years into the future. They've pulled her from the future and brought her to HBO Max to do this episode. So it's like, because I'm like, yeah, that's a badass thing that she did. She knew exactly what the queen was doing. She knew exactly what was going on, and it's like that Lex Luthor Superman thing where you have two rivals who were at first the best of friends, and now it's really gotten bitter between them. I mean, there's been no love gained or any ground gained to repatch their friendship. You can tell they've drawn those lines. The queen feels like she has to protect her children. Obviously, the princess, the heir to the throne, feels the same way. And then it's like, and you know what I feel like? I think that the ironic thing is, if the king died and the princess became the heir and everything like that, or let's say there was a power struggle and the queen stayed in power or whatever, I feel like neither one of them would really want to or would attempt to do anything to the other person's family, but the fear that the other person on the other side of the fence might do something to them, they're gonna they're gonna cross all those lines, and like it's gonna be like a, just in case you might try to kill me and my family, I gotta kill you and your family first, kind of a thing. If you know what I mean?
And yes, exactly. And we do see that later on in the episode
Mm-hmm.
where Ray does offer the treaty, and then we do see that where Allison is still trying to protect her kids because of what her father, Otto Hightower, whispered in her ear, like, you have to protect the realm, you have to protect your children because they are the ones who are the actual heirs to the throne.
Right.
Knowing what Rhaenyra was definitely up to.
Yeah.
And within that scene still, when Allison asks, what is the name of your child? And Laenor is like, Joffrey.
Yeah. Husband.
Which is the name of...
You mean husband cousin?
Yeah, the husband cousin says the name of his lover.
And that whole look, like, really, really, right in front of the queen, you just did this.
Right in front of my salad, like that, like
right.
Yeah.
I'm still on this bed, like a weak and wounded after giving birth like that. And you're gonna throw shade on this whole thing. It's bad enough that the kids obviously don't look like their father in two ways. And can we give a shout out real quick to the queen for throwing that crazy ass shade at hubby cousin with the whole, what was that line, like, one of these days you'll get one of them to look like you or something like that, right? I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah, hopefully one day you'll try and they'll look like you.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Which
it's like, well,
that I thought they would be smarter than this, because I thought with their arrangement that they had last week on the beach 10 years ago, when they said, let's just do what we have to do, put our best foot forward, and just, on the side, we'll have our fun. I thought they would at least be smart enough to at least go and have a couple kids on their own, just to get it out of the way and have their fun. But this woman gave birth to 3 boys from another. What's the professional word for it? Paramour is the paramour is the professional word for a man whore. But yeah, but another bodyguard type dude bothering your children. None of that dude's DNA is tough, because there's none of these boys have gotten any of that Targaryen hair or anything. It's like, wow, it is crazy.
And that just goes to show you that Ray did drink the Plan B tea from the former episode.
From right, because she didn't give birth, because her oldest isn't that much old. That isn't, well. Yeah.
Well, he has green eyes and curly hair.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
What
I'm
else?
like, wait, that's next. I was like, that's the next line in my notes. And which is the next scene is when the boys are all they're playing swords together. They're in fact, Rhaenyra's oldest boys are referred to as the strong boys in the streets. Like, that's the gossip that's going around as their boys, because Sir Harwin, his last name is Strong. So there's already rumors about the boys. They're called the Strong Boys. And Viserys, he's already tried to put an end to that. So even though Alicent has that talk with Viserys and is like trying to tell Viserys, like, to have one child like that is an excuse, but to have 3 of them like that is like an abomination, or whatever the words she used.
Oh yeah. The princess is really on a very thin ice, and the only thing keeping it together is the fact that the king is willing to be ignorant, is willfully ignorant about it, because it's, I mean, not only could she's losing her, she's now compromised her honor, her integrity, her crown, her the heir that she gained that isn't even supposed to be given to a woman in a lot of people, a lot of men's eyes in this situation. And all of that can be taken away from you because of the fact that you have clearly shown a lack of what they could just say, like a judgment, a lack of honor, a lack of integrity, all of it. She's pissing it all over. At least, like you said, at least have one child with your husband. What the hell? The first one at least. I mean, really.
Viserys, when he chose Rhaenyra as his heir, that's when he solidified the line that he will do anything to protect her and make her his heir. Like,
Right.
people were already beginning rumors about Rhaenyra at that time, with him not choosing Aegon as his heir, and that's when he was already starting to say, like, he was already beginning to put an end to any kind of rumors. So he'll stop at nothing to protect his daughter. And so if he has to turn a blind eye to any of her indiscretions, he's gonna do it.
And to me, it's mostly like what an apology to her for not recognizing her as his oldest child anyway. Even though he kept bypassing her because she was a girl and he was trying desperately to have a boy. And when his son that he finally got died at childbirth, it was almost as if he pretty much he did. He apologized to her. He's like, I should not have overlooked the fact that you're good at this. You have a mind for this. You are a leader and you have a lot of potential. But I overlooked you only because of the fact that you're a girl. And I'm willing to go beyond tradition and all that to do something that's never been done. This is almost as if it's like an apology for not seeing it in her earlier, but the fact that she's so willing to like what they say like poke the bear and to test this, like I said, this thin ice.
Yeah, she's just doing it blatantly in everyone's face.
And her friend, the queen, could have forgiven a lot of this stuff, but I don't see a way. To me, this is everybody kind of says that the last week's episode was the one before that was the one where you can really see the game, the Game of Thrones is now really being played now. I think this was the one. This is the one where it's like now we have our players. The queen is, the lines are drawn, and the queen to me, I feel like people will look at her and feel like she's the what was the queen's name in the Game of Thrones?
Cersei?
Yeah, that she's the Cersei of the. I don't think so. I feel like they're trying to set it up, and maybe that she could be that, but I don't think so, because she has way more honor.
I said that in the chat on the first time we ever talked about HoT, that Alicent is Cersei, and somebody was like, "Nixon, don't spoil it."
You think Alicent is the Cersei of the?
Oh, absolutely. She's definitely being compared to her, for sure. But if you're saying that Alicent has more honor, I agree.
I think she has more. She is the antagonist, but then the princess does so many things to make me go, is Alicent right? I keep going back and forth on it now. It's like I want her to win, but the having the children. 3 children with your knight, and just throwing it in everyone's face like that. It's like the only thing that to me that can really protect her is if her father dies, and she becomes the heir. But at that moment, the queen could just stop playing these games with words and labels and just flat out say it. Like, dude, she cannot become the heir. she she has 3 kids with another man besides her husband. She just, I mean, I think with having even one of those kids out of wedlock, from or not having any of those kids by her husband, the claim to to that heir is, it can be challenged at any moment. And I don't know why the queen is even waiting. I feel like she's been pushed. They're pushing it. Even Sir, what's his name? Sir
Kristen.
Christian was uh, when he tried to get the father to confess it out loud, like you protect these boys like a brother, like a cousin, like a son, and it's like, dude, like why even play games? I mean, I guess because since the king is alive and he's willfully being ignorant about it, he could just have them all killed for the insult. But everybody knows. What do you feel about that?
Well, obviously, Sir Kristen has, um, he has some resentment towards Rhaenyra by her not having his baby. These boys obviously look like Sir Harwin, or yeah, Sir Harwin, and Harwin should not have defended his honor. I get it that he was standing up for his family by beating up Sir Kristen,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, he got banished that way, and it just ended up not faring well for him. I mean, we know what happens. I mean, should
Right.
we even go? Should I just jump to that? Like, because it ends up getting him killed.
Right, right. I mean, towards the end, and that, and we'll talk about that at the end of it. But that was,
Yeah.
we've already talked about the new person playing Rhaenyra is Emma. Is it Emma?
Emma Darcy.
That's the older version, right? Emma
Yeah.
Darcy.
Emma Darcy.
And I know
It's
I mean, they look different. I mean, but I don't feel like they look that much different. I feel like there's certain angles and stuff. It didn't take me long to adjust and go, no, this is our new Targaryen princess. It didn't take me long to go there with it. What about you? When you first saw her and first saw her in those first
I
giving birth, how did you feel about it?
I think Emma Darcy, they look strikingly similar, especially in the like the scenes where they're on the bridge
Mm-hmm.
of, like, I think it's when they're in Dragonstone.
Mm-hmm.
There's like some pull away scenes where Emma Darcy, they definitely look a lot like Ray,
Yeah,
like Millie Alcock.
like
Like
Millie
I
Alcock. Yeah.
think it yeah, I think the casting is pretty spot on. I know last week Tabitha and I did not agree with that, and she was like, "No, I'm not looking forward to that. I don't agree." So I'm willing to see how she feels about the casting, because
Olivia
I was looking.
Olivia Cook replacing Emily Carey as Queen Alicent. That's
They literally,
spot
it
on.
looks
That
like
they're the same
CGI.
person. I swear to God, when I first looked at that, I was like, that's the same girl. That's the same
Yeah.
actress. they, they,
So if that's the like expectation that Tabs was expecting, like, okay, then I get it.
right.
With Millie Alcock and Emma Darcy, all right.
Right,
But
with Olivia and Emily, that that
so spot
almost
on.
feels. I don't feel like the casting director or the team was like, we have to make sure that whoever we get to play the younger versions look exactly like whoever we've. I'm pretty sure that they cast the older versions first, because that's your team moving forward throughout the whole thing. And then they probably cast the younger versions later too, because they got to set the tone with the younger versions. But you would, if somebody would to lie to you and say we cast Allison to specifically get the two actresses that look exactly alike, I would have believed it, even though I know professionally they would not have done that, because that
Yeah.
wouldn't have mattered. They would have got the person who did the best job in auditioning. But in this situation, look at them. It's lucky they, to me, look like they're related. They look like sisters. She looks like the older version, of Emily Carey. So and I can see what people are saying that Emma and Millie, don't look that much alike, but I still see it. They both got the character down perfectly. So I felt it, and I can see it.
And what I find interesting is that Emma and Millie weren't even allowed to interact
Mm-hmm.
before and while they were on set because they didn't want each other to get a sense of one another's characters. So,
Which
like,
that makes sense because
yeah,
you wouldn't because we're talking about 10 years going by. I mean, I know that you have the younger version's history to pack with it, but we don't know what what's been going on for those 10 years. So the fact that the queen is a little bit darker. She was more willing to forgive and to be with her friend again. But now, I mean, even at the end of, I know I'm jumping ahead, but at the end of the episode when she tried to that olive branch, we used to be friends, and I hope we can be friends again. I was like, even I felt it. I without getting her response, I was like, that's too late. It is no way she's accepting that.
the look on Olivia Cook's face was like, ooh, that's
Like,
cold.
really? Like really? 10 years later, you think I'm gonna fall for this shit now? Like, no. Um,
Yeah.
John McMillan. How do you think? I'm
Um,
gonna be honest with you. I like the younger version. I don't know
yeah.
why. I don't like the. I'm sure that this is exactly
I
what they
mean, he's
want.
cute.
I mean, I'm talking about like. I mean, I like the way his character acted when they were younger. Now
Yeah.
there's such a down. Unless he's still mourning the death of his you know killed lover in the previous week, and that's the tone that they're going with. There's something that spark and that there was a light in his eye that was when he was younger. It's gone.
It
Like
didn't sound like he was mourning his lover, all the men he's been having, all the wine he's been drinking, all the things he's been buying. It sounds like he's been having a great time for the last 10 years.
I feel like no one will care about the adult casting in 2 or 3 episodes from now. To me, the
I do.
characters casting are quite accurate. That's what Jabba the Slut. That's what he said. The previous actors will
We love
the previous actors will be forgotten about quickly. That's true, and I said that before. I feel like but I feel like we'll see them again, and we're gonna get the cool thing about it is if this show if it lasts even if it lasts as long as Game of Thrones lasts, you can always in real time, obviously time is always moving forward, but you can always have flashbacks with the previous actors, something that the queen and the princess, an interaction that they did um, 9 years ago or 8 years ago. As time actually moves for every season, as the real live younger versions get older, like a flashback that happened 9 years ago, 8 years ago, 7 years ago. It keeps and you can always pull them back in and have them do flashback stuff until I mean at any point you can, and that's probably why they decided to recast, because even as the younger versions, as they get older in real life, um, it'll if you see them in a flashback, even if they are older themselves in real life, you'll still know this is obviously a flashback because we're seeing Theo Nate and as instead of John McMillan, for example.
Yeah.
I feel like that's probably going to happen. What do you think about that theory? Will we have
Yeah.
flashbacks?
See, that's what I was hoping. A lot of people tell me they don't think that's very likely.
Hmm.
Um, Fire and Blood was not a very long story itself, so I don't know if we will get as many. I keep disappearing out of frame. I don't think we'll get as many seasons
Hmm.
as Game of Thrones,
Well,
but we are gonna get another prequel called A Thousand Ships.
Well, I
And
mean, even Game of Thrones, didn't they surpass the actual books and had to start creating their own ending for? So I mean, even that happens all the time. I don't believe that
true.
movies and TV adaptations need to stay 100% accurate to the books. You make the best show for yourself. For this is the TV adaptation, and if something that happened in the book doesn't work with what they could do for the TV show, then do what's best for the show. And if they decide that I feel like if they're going to do stories beyond the books, or if they want to stretch it out for to give us more character development, flashbacks could work. I mean, but maybe you're right. Maybe they won't ever do that. But at least the option, I feel like, is there. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, I hope so. I agree because if not, I already know how this ends, and I'm just like, oh, that's only going to be a few seasons.
I, I,
A
have a,
few seasons.
I
This
have a
sucks.
funny feeling that it's not going to end the way the book ends it. What about Leanna Valerie? Now that to me was the most because we had to what two child births in
No,
this.
they're twins.
She was giving birth to twins.
Well, the girls, the first girls are twins. So
Mhm.
this was her second birth.
No, no, I was just saying though. In this one episode, there was
Oh, oh
two
yeah,
per,
there were two
two
childbirths.
births. Yeah.
And the irony in this childbirth is Damon is now succumbed to the same fate as
The king's first
he
wife.
mocked he mocked Emma, who he made fun of the heir for a day
Mm-hmm.
because Emma lost her child that way and passed away that way, and the
Mm-hmm.
irony there is now his wife has to succumb to the same fate.
Mm. And we didn't get to see Damon do. I'm so used to every time Damon shows up, he's doing something sketchy, tricky, underhanded, and whatnot. We just saw him being a father,
He was so wholesome.
yeah, he,
They
he,
even
he
they even cut out a scene where he was like consoling his daughters
mhm.
after his wife passed away.
Yeah,
Which, okay, I'm confused on because fire is not supposed to kill a dragon, and she has the blood of old Valyria running through her blood, so she's like a legit dragon, and so
yes.
she wasn't supposed to die. I'm
Well, yeah,
confused.
I didn't understand it if because did they say that on the first episode that Valerians they can be there's a connection with the Targaryens and the Valyrians, but only the
Yeah.
Targaryens can withstand the fire. Was that what they set up in the first
So
episode?
so Valyrians and Targaryens. I literally have this written down.
Like they have a similar history, but only the was it something like only the Targaryens they could both ride dragons, but only the Targaryens can withstand fire.
Anyone with the blood of old Valyria, they're the ones with the blonde hair. So
Okay.
they fire cannot burn dragon. So anyone with the blood of old Valyria are dragon and they can't be burnt.
So why did
So
she
any
burn? If her last name is literally Valyrian.
Valerian, but maybe okay, maybe she probably wasn't a true dragon, but I don't believe that either because Vagar, the biggest dragon, was hers. I'm so confused.
The only thing I can think of is maybe with the blood loss during it weakened her so much where that she could be burnt or something like that. Maybe they're gonna say, let's see if this let's see if this let me switch cameras real quick. I keep forgetting to do that. Let's see what this article says. The character now being played by three actors, with Noah Forolis Moses playing her as 12 years old, Savannah Stein portraying Leon as a teenager, and Nana Blondell as the adult. Valerian of House of Dragon, episode 6. Over the past 10 years, Lena married Daemon Targaryen, moved to Pentos, and had two daughters, Rhaena and Baela. However, her story comes to an end in House of the Dragon, episode 6, when she commands her ancient Targaryen dragon to burn her alive. Blondell has also been seen in projects like the Innis. Okay, well, it doesn't. I thought it would explain why she was able to be burned, but maybe that was mentioned before. Was
So
oh, go ahead.
Rhaena and Bela, the daughters, they're compared in the stories to Sansa and Arya.
Okay.
Bela is supposed to be the next Arya. And like she becomes a dragon rider
Later on.
I'm like, no spoilers.
Oh,
wait,
yeah. For those, so sorry about that. For the
I'm like, just watch Bela and keep in mind, I've let you know that she's supposed to be the next Arya.
Okay, we'll leave it at that.
They're badass. They're badass.
Jacaris, was this the brother that they didn't know? He wasn't. None of Rhaenyra's kids were teased. Who was that? That was the queen's son. Was it Aemon? Aemon that they teased? What?
Yeah.
And they were just having a little fun and teasing him. But I love the fact that the queen got so insulted. It's like, you need to stand by your brother, because she was pretty much trying to let, in her subtle little way, don't trust your. I talked about this with Joy. Wait a minute. Wait. The queen's sons and the princess's sons are now half. They're like, that's her half uncle that they were training with and working with. They're half uncle nephews, right? those kids. And that's the princess. The queen's sons are the princess's half brothers. They're half brothers, younger brothers.
Yeah.
Damn, this gets kind of confusing sometimes.
Oh, you have no idea. It's going to get even more confusing.
Job of the split continues. People just want something to talk about. You deleted the next message, according to Google, anyways. Well, I don't know what you said in the message before, according to Google, because the message was retracted. I guess I don't know if you use words that can't be portrayed, but if you can retype it, that way I can see what you were talking about there. Was there anything before we move on to the next character? What was anything else you want to say about the siblings?
No, no, not the siblings. I just remembered that we skipped over the whole Pentos thing. How Lena and Damon were in Pentos, and
the offer that he was given.
Yeah, the Prince of Pentos was like trying to bribe him with gold and all that stuff, and Damon was like, "Oh, this sounds nice. This sounds really, really nice."
And she wasn't having it. She was like, "No, let's go back to."
They did the exact same thing to Daenerys in Game of Thrones. Mm-hmm. And at first, Daenerys was like, let me see what this is about. But then she realized they only want my dragons, and that's when they stole her dragons for like a minute, and she was like, where are my dragons? But it's like they always do that to a Targaryen in Pentos, but they need that area open right now, because that's where the spices are.
Google Jobless says, because on Google people keep saying that the Targaryens are not immune to fire, just heat resistant, same as Valerians. That's why she died, heat resistant.
Oh.
So they.
Oh, we have a Jobless slut in this chat. My bad.
But I wasn't sure if it was 100% accurate, so I deleted it. Yeah, I mean that might explain it. I mean they obviously are heat resistant. We saw in Game of Thrones. A breaker of chains. She walked through fire. We've seen her engulfed in fire before, haven't we?
But okay, so and Vhagar is the biggest of all the dragons now, because
yeah, I'm pretty sure his fire was pretty powerful.
Yeah, Drogon on the dragon scale is way tiny compared to the rest of the dragons. He's He's tiny.
Mm. So
that makes sense.
Yeah. So
That makes sense.
maybe it is the heat resistant versus immune thing. But at the same time, yeah, maybe it's the size of the dragon's abilities and his size may be another factor in it. It could be, or it could be both. Um, yeah. And real quick, because I gotta be shutting it down soon because I
Oh,
gotta go eat. But
oh
um,
yeah. Please.
but then at the end we had our. Let me see if I can pull these pictures up. I can because I think you
Oh,
sent me
we definitely have to talk about the Hand of the
the
King
hand of the
and
king. Yeah, the hand of the king. How at the end. Yeah, go ahead, recap it real quick, and I'll pull up the pictures as you do that.
so the Hand of the King confronts his son for beating up Sir Kristen, and well, like I said mentioned earlier, that Alicent vented to Larius about. I hope I mentioned that. Um,
No, that's the wrong picture. Go ahead.
she vents to Larius about her problems, and Larius spins what she says and takes it upon himself to bring back her father.
Mm-hmm.
And so
As the hand of the king. I'm trying to figure out why he thought by murdering his because he just murdered his brother and his father to get the queen's father back, right? That's the.
so he's always listening. So he knew that his dad couldn't resign. So he's like, okay, my dad can't resign. I will resign them. And he knew that Sir Harwin was also a problem. So he figured out two birds,
One
stone.
and let me see if I can pull this up, and that'll bring him back. And it'll be. See where the heck is it?
There's also foreshadowing in this episode too, but I know you don't have time.
Yeah, yeah, we have to go real soon. But yeah, this looks like something for possibly from next week because this is definitely the new actress. I can't wait to see what's going to happen with this. If he comes back as the Hand of the King, that's going to make the princess's position even that much weaker because he is all about making sure that his family holds on
He's
to all the
definitely
power,
coming back.
and so it's going to be interesting to see how the princess handles all that because with him back, Rhaenyra is definitely in trouble. But obviously, I don't know why. I feel like, well, you know what? I'm not even going to speculate because I know you know the answer to it. And if I say something out loud, I feel like a facial expression, a smirk, a smile, or something will give something away. So I'm not even going to say it out loud.
I
But
told you I wear my heart on my sleeve,
yeah,
man.
but I'm that the look on the queen's face when when he said the message was received loud and clear and I knew exactly what you definitely wanted me to kill my father and my brother. Yeah, I could tell, Your Majesty, and you do me a favor for it. It was
I
so
think so.
creepy.
I don't think she did at all.
No, I don't think she meant it that way either. And I think he just did what he wanted to do all along. And then when you sent me this picture, I was like, yeah, that's that. Yeah, he's definitely the new. What's his name? Little finger with something finger.
Littlefinger. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, he becomes the Lord of Harrenhal, which
Mm-hmm.
is the biggest castle in all of Westeros.
Mm-hmm.
He becomes the Lord of that castle by burning them.
Right.
He inherits that castle. So it works in his favor too.
Big time, exactly. I always look to who it benefits, and I was supposed to. I wanted to look at the after show. You told me start watching the after right after the show ends. Watch their talk. I didn't have time again, so I did not do my didn't do my homework. And I got to watch the trailer for next week as well. But
It comes on right after.
yeah,
It's right after.
I always turn it right off afterwards. So I'm always kind of going in blind in the next episode. But I'm looking forward to it. I feel like, oh man, this is that the Hot Dness is the number one streaming show on television right now, right? Ratings wise and
Yeah.
everything, it is the number one
Yeah.
show. This is further proof that pretty soon Netflix and everybody else is going to go to what HBO Max and what Disney Plus is doing, going to weekly episodes. This is the way to do it. I mean, I know binging got popular and everybody got spoiled on it. I want my cake all at once now, but stretching it out has proven once again to be the best way to do it. And
Yeah.
I can't. It just makes you more excited. It gives you something to talk about and to speculate and to look forward to in the weeks to come. And it keeps the conversation alive, and that's what it's all about. Like we got Jabba the Slut in the comments tearing it up, man, with all these
Yeah.
this facts and these. So I appreciate that.
Appreciate you, Jabba.
So yep, I mean, so I'm looking forward to it. Anything else you want to close us out with before we go?
Real quick, Helena, Allison's daughter,
Mm-hmm.
says the last leg has no rings at all. He'll have to close an eye. Take with that what you will. It is foreshadowing. Just want to let y'all know that.
Princess Helena was only an infant before House of Dragons episode 6, with the quiet young Targaryen now showing a curious interest in bugs. Helena is now played by Evie Allen.
Evie Allen, is she a sister of Alfie Allen? Theon?
I'm not sure.
Is that
I'm
a
not-
deep cut? I'm gonna have to look that up.
Or I have to look it up. All right, let us know. That's your homework. So, guys, I appreciate you for this late episode of the Rundown Rush, the recap of episode 6 of the Hot D-ness. Appreciate Nixon for helping me out with this. I'm glad to keep talking about this, and look forward to all the other shows that we're going to be reviewing, recapping. We got what do we have looking forward to this? We got Andor. We got more She-Hulk. What are you watching that you can't wait to talk about a little bit later on? Besides the House of Dragons, what are you watching?
Secret Invasion in next year.
Secret Invasion. When does that start again?
In 2023.
Oh, it's not
But
this year.
that's
Okay.
in a couple months.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, we're good on that. And then so there's a bunch of reviews and stuff that we're going to be doing as well. So keep your eyes right here. Hit the like, subscribe button. Sorry that I'm kind of being low key. I got sleeping kids in the room, so my energy isn't as where it's usually at this time on the show. But still a lot of fun. I love talking about this stuff. You can always find me on right here on Talking Through the Medias, and if you want to reach out to me, you can go to Chris at Chris W Fagan. That's my ad, or just at T3 Medias. If you want to reach out to me, send me your questions, your comments, concerns, any topics that you want us to talk about. Nixon, if they want to find you online, where can they reach out to you?
I'm NixonLove08 on TikTok. On Instagram, I'm Nixon.Bastidas86. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
And as always, guys, have a good one, because the rundown is now done. Let's give a round of applause to Nixon right here. Appreciate you for helping us out. Our go-to person with everything about the Hot D. She's 100% the go-to person. That's not a euphemism. I'm talking about House of Dragons, guys. Keep your minds out of the gutter.